Welcome to the This Is Awesome Wrestling Show, where we're recapping a weekend full of WCW action. Steve, I'm excited, man, because a lot of great WCW action last night.
WCW doesn't exist anymore.
Wait, well, hold on. But Sting came back. Sting, WCW. Sting is WCW.
Well, yeah, but not anymore.
A celebrity ruined the World Championship match.
Well, yeah, but he didn't win the World Championship.
But he still interfered.
Right.
For really no reason.
Well.
Ric Flair came back.
Yeah.
There was no legit women's wrestling storyline.
That's true.
And in the main event, it ended with confusion and not knowing what happened. And pretty much dumb.
Yeah, but it was still WWE.
Are you sure it wasn't WCW? I swear it was WCW.
This is the new WWE.
Oh, okay.
Which is like the old WCW.
Okay. Well.
Listen, to your point, we learned what happens when the clique is in charge. That was WCW.
Yeah.
Although I guess Vince is still running this, supposedly.
But we did have some,
trips.
You have nostalgia, Sting back. Ric Flair came out. You had the Dudley Boys come back.
Yes, this was the invasion angle that should have happened. The Dudley Boys, just like they did, representing ECW back in the day, back again. That's awesome. And then you should have had Sting and Ric Flair at that point. Not 15 years later.
Not Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hara and
yes,
Billy Kidman and those guys come back as the leaders of the new WCW. No, the weekend was average of either wrestling to me. The bar was set very high with NXT on Saturday night with TakeOver.
That show was awesome.
Strictly wrestling, and we were talking before the show, and I'll let you make the point, but it reminded us of old pay-per-views.
It did, because in the old pay-per-views, when you used to watch them, you'd have, all right, this match is coming up, and real quick, let's take a look back at how we got here. And that's it. Like the advertising, you're not selling, you're not cutting huge promos necessarily. And then you get this little montage video. Here's what it is. And then, boom, we're back.
Yeah.
Ring announcer. Let's get this started. And that's what NXT was. And it was great. It was non-stop action.
Yeah. Total? Was it
wasn't,
total
I don't know
non-stop action?
Total. It was not total non-stop action, but it was non-stop action.
You can say they made a big impact.
They did.
Over the weekend.
They did.
I was pretty amped for the NXT show.
Yeah. But no Double J in this.
No.
But it was still good. Although you did have your period of time, I suppose, where like old WrestleMania, obviously you had promos cut.
Yeah.
When Hogan and those guys were promo heavy, but
there was a point to it.
It
wasn't
was
oversaturated.
Yeah.
With backstage. I mean,
that's what I loved about NXT. It was just boom, let's do this. We saw a quick video. If you need to get caught up, like, wait, why are these guys fighting? Boom, here it is. Hey, let's take a look. This is how it happened. Pow, we're into it. Fight. It's on. And it was awesome.
NXT was, like you said, was amazing. I loved NXT TakeOver, the matches. The only one match that kind of slowed the whole night down, I thought, was Baron Corbin versus Samoa Joe. It kind of, the finish was great. But that was the only match of the night that kind of went like, The tag team match, Vaudevillains, great.
Oh, so happy that they won.
Blue Pants came to the rescue.
Yeah, I love the Vaudevillains.
Alexa Bliss is totally bad.
Even though I still think they may have stolen the gimmick from Marion Fontaine.
Yeah, whatever. Who?
An AIW favorite.
Okay.
Marion Fontaine.
It's okay.
It's fantastic.
I'm sure they stole a gimmick from a guy that weighs 110 pounds soaking wet and is in Cleveland, Ohio.
Because it's a fantastic gimmick. A fantastic gimmick is a fantastic
gimmick. They made it their own. It's now the Vaudevillains. Sorry.
I'm just saying.
But it was a great tag team match.
I still love the gimmick. Yeah. I think they should bring him out.
God, no.
He should be their manager.
No.
Be great.
Blue Pants is just fine with them. And then you had the ladder match. But the one match that, and you knew Balor was going to win. You didn't think Owens was going to win.
Yeah.
Because Owens is full-time on the roster. It was a great match.
What a great match, yeah.
But the one match that obviously stole the whole weekend. I thought in my mind was Bayley defeating Sasha for the NXT Women's Title. No gimmicks, no stipulations, just a straight one-on-one title match, and they straight pulled out the stops. Can you just what was it? Reverse Hurricanrana to Sasha, then the Bayley.
Oh yeah,
Bayley the belly suplex to win. Just an amazing spot. It reminded me of, I want to say, a Candice LeRae match when she wrestles, someone on her caliber.
Yeah.
That they're just going spot after spot very smoothly into each transition of each spot and putting one hell of a match, and they had the time. And this wasn't a 20-minute Diva match to where it sucked and it was dragging and the crowd had to take over like Raw. This was a straight, people on the edge of their seats, and this
was what the goal is of this whole quote unquote Diva
revolution. We're gonna get into Revolution very deeply today. We're getting into Divas very deep today.
You didn't watch a women's match. You didn't watch a Divas match. You watched a match. Every spot went seamlessly. They went through it. They rolled through it. It was competitive. It told its story within the match. You knew the story building up to the match. Bayley basically having to take out everybody on her comeback to being a top contender in NXT, and there she goes, and just an incredible match.
Yeah.
Overall to watch. You watch them do this stuff, and the telling point was that, having seen enough of their matches, and as we saw, we've seen them live now in a match. I'm sitting there watching them, and some of the spots they're doing, and I mean the one spot where Bayley's on the outside of the ring, and Sasha goes diving over the referee, to take her out on the outside.
That was a good spot.
You're watching that stuff now, and you're like, oh my god, that was amazing. You're not thinking, oh my gosh, that was amazing, and oh, by the way, I can't believe that happened in a women's match. You're just thinking, oh my gosh, that's amazing. That was awesome. And that's what their goal is, and those ladies have reached it.
Now, match ends. Bayley wins. She's celebrating. Charlotte comes in. Becky Lynch comes in the ring, and you have the three of them celebrating. They are, obviously, the good girls are faces, and then you have Sasha come in and hug Bayley right away.
Yeah.
Four horsewomen.
Four horsewomen.
Now, here's my question to you, and we're going to get into this Divas Revolution. Internet world was buzzing because kayfabe was broken there, because obviously Sasha and Bayley were going at it. Sasha on the main roster is against Charlotte and Becky Lynch.
Right.
But they're all hugging and celebrating. And then the next night on the pay-per-view, you're expecting, Sasha's going to go against Charlotte, and they hate each other, back to hating each other. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's too overblown? It reminds me of the Clique. It reminds me of when all four of them said goodbye.
Yeah.
It's obviously on the same caliber, but...
No, but similar thought. But on one hand...
It was well-deserved. I think it needed...
Absolutely.
Needed to happen. Yeah.
It was fantastic, because that is, those ladies helped build the NXT brand. We talk about it being a Diva revolution, but a huge part of the NXT revolution was that you had amazing quality women down there as well. And knowing that those four are not all going to be there necessarily at the same time on a regular basis ever again, because they are just, they've outgrown it. Yeah, you need to have like that. See that goodbye kind of thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, WWE always treats NXT as a separate brand.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't necessarily, not everyone who watched NXT is necessarily going to watch WWE, or maybe vice versa. So not everyone who's tuning into SummerSlam was tuning into NXT or cares about NXT still. That's why it's still kind of a smaller brand. So what happens there is fine, because how many times, you watch a Kevin Owens match on WWE, and if you follow these NXT wrestlers on Twitter, doesn't matter if they're in a feud with Kevin Owens or not, they're, cheering like, oh yeah, NXT is representing, and that's how it was. At the end of it, it was, here we are, this is our goodbye to NXT.
Now, before we get into Divas Revolution, because I want to get into that, one more thing about NXT is, because NXT is on the network, it's not on network television. NXT is not catered to quote-unquote family television,
right?
Because it is strictly on the network. And there's really no comical tag teams. There's no comical spots. It's strictly wrestling. It's strictly, serious wrestling. And the crowd at Full Sail is a wrestling crowd. The crowds for NXT when it comes here in Cleveland,
right?
And I was in Miami. Strictly wrestling people that know it's not really a family kind of thing because kids can't turn on the TV and see NXT. They gotta go on the network, and usually, WWE's catered to kids for Raw and SmackDown. So my question is, should the NXT crowd be what Raw and SmackDown are catered to now? Because of when you look at NXT crowd, there's not many kids in the crowd. It's our age, mid-20s, and they really make the show better with the crowd and what they do. They should. They probably won't, but should they be catering to that crowd more than the generic family crowd?
No. Because the family crowd is always still going to make you more money.
It's all about that money.
It's all about that merchandise.
What about the girl that was holding up the face, blank me Finn?
Yeah, but she made that sign. She didn't buy it there.
I know, but but she's part of the fan base.
She's not going to buy all his merchandise.
I'm sure.
Listen, I understand that Justin Summers, friend of the show, owns 130 wrestling T-shirts.
He keeps tweeting about it.
But he's not.
He broke it down by percentage, too.
He's not everybody. You have a family of 4.
130 times what? $20? Let's see how much.
Yeah, but you have a family of 4 show up to a wrestling event, and yes, they're buying snacks and drinks and everything, but that dad is also dropping money on his kids to wear John Cena hat, armbands, T-shirts, fake wrestling belts, the video games, all of this stuff. Very kid-oriented, and that's who's buying most of the merchandise.
I don't know, dude. At NXT Miami, Chris and I Van Vliet, good friend of the show, were talking about this. There was a kid, 3 kids in a family. They had the Finn hat, the knitted hat, the Finn mask, the Finn armbands.
They're kids, is my point.
But yeah, so
that's what I'm saying. So you're asking is should you cater to the NXT more adult-oriented fans?
Yeah.
But you just kind of answered it. You're at an NXT show, and yet there's kids with all the gear on.
But I'm saying if the NXT was on primetime TV,
I mean they'd probably still watch it.
Yeah.
But Finn doesn't really. At the same time, Finn doesn't really do anything necessarily to make him.
Yeah.
He's only adult humor or he's adult this. He doesn't say much at all. It comes out in the
demon.
The paint, a demon. So there's not much there. At the end of the day, kids are always going to be a part of this because think about growing up. Some of the saddest moments that we've had here in the last 6 months are remembering these guys that we watched growing up.
Yeah.
These were our heroes. This is why we got into wrestling. And I think sometimes that's why all these smarks, so to speak, I think that's what they forget about. Is, they get older, and they're like, well, it needs to be about the storyline, or I want this guy who's a wrestler better, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, yeah, but when did most of you started liking this when you were a kid. And I think you still need to kind of respect that element of it, too. You need to understand that, yeah, I was watching this.
Yeah, but even back then when we were kids, there was raunchy, non-kid entertainment stuff that got us hooked.
Yeah, but you're not going to roll into Bugs Bunny and Looney Tunes and be like, oh, this story needs to be more oriented to me because now you're 32 cartoons instead of 7. You know what I mean?
People still think it's real.
Yeah. You're not going to be like, oh, Power Rangers, she needs to wear skimpier outfits now because I'm 32 and I'm not 12
see some cleavage
watching this. So you have to.
I'm saying the crowd makes the show better.
I'm sorry, I'm going to say it all the time. That's no, not always. Sometimes the crowd makes it worse.
Like when?
Plenty of times where they're just chanting in moments and saying boring or this or then.
Well, usually they're right. They're right though. When they start doing that,
not always.
Last night they started doing that.
Why are they chanting "Ole Ole Ole" during matches? Why are they chanting "Ole Ole Ole" during Owens and Finn Balor to begin with?
Put Zayn out, and then Owens responded perfectly with the shoulder.
Oh, and it was an incredible. That was again one of my
favorite moments. Which makes it perfect because the crowd. It was a perfect relevance.
But it wasn't
the
relevant.
Was.
The crowd wasn't relevant because Sami Zayn has been out for months.
But that was a moment in the match where we think of and we're like, oh, that was a cool moment. If it wouldn't happen if the crowd didn't start doing that. If they started doing Ole Ole.
If it wasn't Kevin Owens, the person wouldn't have reacted to it.
I'm sure they wouldn't have done it versus Owens match.
Kevin Owens is
that
such
was for Sami.
They did it the next night.
For what? The Divas?
They started chanting "Ole, ole, ole" during the course of SummerSlam.
For what match?
I think they did it twice. I think they did it. Maybe one time was in the Owens
They
match.
do
to
it
try
when
to
they're
get him to do
bored.
it again.
They do it when they're
and
bored.
Then another time.
Probably Sheamus and Orton because that was boring.
But it's not. It's just not necessary.
If the match
Go
sucks,
take a pee break.
No, if the match sucks and it's terrible and it's nothing that they are entertained by, they reserve the right to hijack the show.
To your point, the crowd's trying to hijack the show during Owens and Cesaro because the match before they weren't happy with.
No, they weren't trying to hijack. They were saying Ole because of
They're still
Sammy.
Crowd was
for
still
Sammy.
doing their thing. They've done it many times. There are certain moments where I'm okay with the crowd, but overall, you have people who just want to be a part of the show. And I'm going to bring this up because it's worth bringing it up.
Okay.
We sat here and in one episode pretended to start a feud with someone we accuse of doing this.
Okay. What, Frank the Clown?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we take issue with that.
Right.
That audience, when an audience does that and just tries to overtake it, they are nothing more than an entire room full of that.
Well, they're trying to be bigger than the show.
It's exactly. And typically, it's not.
That's a little different.
It's not the entire crowd. It's a louder group. It's all the smarks going crazy.
Well, look at the WrestleMania, the rest of the Raw to WrestleMania crowd.
Smarks. I think that's a slap in the face to smart marks, because
dude, you don't use the term mark, dude. That's a bad.
I don't
term.
know but I don't know what's. But I think
fans. There's different level of fandom.
Yeah, but I think
you don't call them marks.
But there are certain marks, and I don't want to call them smart because they're not. The ones who try to hijack the show, they call themselves marks. The people who are proud to be marks. So I guess you wouldn't even call them necessarily marks. I don't know what you would call them.
Well, and also, people are drunk. You know, the whole Triple H thing that started NXT, he came out and said, hey, I'm doing this. Can you guys please be quiet when lights go out? Be silent.
Yeah.
Lights turn on. Start, being loud. And when Triple H was doing his thing, they got idiots, that are yelling and saying stupid stuff. Then there's only a few of them, but it echoes and it sounds louder than it really is.
Right.
So, yeah, you're gonna have the morons. I agree. But I think the Olay stuff for Owens was for Sammy, and Owens responded perfectly to it, which made it a cool moment. And if the match sucks, I think they reserve the right to hijack and take it over as a big FU to creative for booking the match that they're seeing.
But I think my point is,
I mean, what do you do? Do you turn your back? Do you turn around and not watch the match?
I don't remember what match it was, but I think it was Chad Dukes who tweeted during the course of the weekend, and there was a certain match, and people were booing it. It might have been Reigns. I think it was Reigns and Dean Ambrose taking on the Wyatts.
Yeah.
And it was after all sorts of just madness and chaos is happening, and people are booing Roman Reigns just to boo Roman Reigns. And to Chad's point, the deal was, so far, this is an exciting and fun match to watch.
Oh, he loves Roman Reigns, though.
And I don't love Roman Reigns, but I think his point is accurate. You have people who are so caught up in Roman Reigns got pushed because of this. Roman Reigns got pushed because of this. Roman Reigns hasn't even sniffed a title shot since WrestleMania.
Yeah, he's been.
And oh, by the way, he lost it anyways, and they gave it to Seth Rollins,
which is probably the best.
And your ratings have actually, guy who everybody was like, so now they appease the internet fans. We give the title to Seth Rollins, and your television rankings have tanked ever since. I love Seth Rollins as a heel.
I don't think that they haven't tanked. They've steadily
We sat here on this
up.
show and talked about how Monday Night Raw 2 months ago had some of the lowest ratings that it's ever had.
But it's not because of him, though.
I don't know why it is.
It's not because of Rollins, though.
But there's a correlation there.
Rollins is the best heel.
So
Gets a great reaction.
So to be an internet fan and sitting here saying Roman Reigns is this, and all you want to do is boo and not watch the match, that's hijacking the show, and that's stupid to me. I can't stand it. Because in fact, it's been a pretty good performance from Roman Reigns. I think you've seen some solid matches from him recently.
I think that's the only way you can make a statement to creative and to the booking, whatever, when they see a crappy match and the match is not going well, is to do what they do and hijack. I mean, I look at both sides because the guys in the ring are doing what they're told. They're going out there. They're still working very hard. and it's very hard to wrestle. It's not easy. So, they get frustrated. And then, but B is, how do the fans, other than writing a complaint or taking a fucking survey, how do they voice their opinion on how they feel about the match?
But my point is that the fans are going into the match predetermined. They're gonna like it or not like it.
Well, that's gives them. That's why they're a fan.
If you're still booing Roman Reigns at this point, a guy who has not gotten
they can boo whoever they want.
Time,
they can boo Cena. Cena gets booed,
and that's fine. But you're not paying attention. Is my point then? You're now just.
But Reigns is not a good wrestler anyway. He's not that good.
His matches have been pretty darn good
because he has help from Ambrose, who's a great wrestler. Bray Wyatt is a great wrestler.
But the matches have been good.
But they're booing Reigns, not the match. They're booing Reigns.
Know if Bray Wyatt's that good. I saw that Bray Wyatt Undertaker match.
Well, that's Undertaker can't move, dude.
Well, the argument is that Roman Reigns can't wrestle.
But he has 4. Reigns has 4 moves.
You can't,
and that's why
you can't go back and forth and say, "Oh, well, Undertaker is allowed to be a bad wrestler." Well,
he's not a bad wrestler. He's still damn good and better than half the roster, even though he can't move that well. It only take that round. Bray versus Undertaker was bad because Bray is obviously a younger guy, and he can't manhandle Taker like a Brock Lesnar and put on spectacular spots like Lesnar can, which made the match seem to be less than adequate. If you have a guy like Lesnar who can do incredible things with Taker and literally carry him to great spots and suplexes, which is the main spot of the match, all these suplexes.
Right.
Wyatt can't do those kind of moves. It's more simple, more mat wrestling, which Taker can't do that anymore because he's too old. He can't do a 20-minute match with Bray, but he can with Lesnar because there's more bigger spots, there's more rest points. So it's different, but I would take Bray as a better wrestler than Reigns. Reigns has punches and a spear. What else does Reigns do? And a clothesline.
He's got his little suplex. He's got his little drive-by.
Okay, the kick to the face, a punch, clothesline, and a spear. Generic moves that anybody can do.
Everybody's got a moveset of X amount of moves.
No, I know.
You talk to anybody who is starting out in wrestling, and they'll sit there and tell you, look, you need to do these X amount of tried and true moves. This is your moveset.
He's a generic wrestler.
And you go with there. I mean, he'll do his other stuff. He'll put you in a headlock. He'll do this or whatever.
Oh.
Do that. But, I mean, what more do you want him to do? Give me more than 5 moves that Bray Wyatt has.
More than Bray Wyatt? Okay, he has the sister, Abigail, whatever they call it.
Okay.
He has the shoulder tackle, which is pretty damn cool when he does it. It's not a spear, but he comes at you and puts his whole body. He does the flippy thing that he lands on his back on the wrestler that Owens does now.
Oh, it's just a
cannonball
senton, basically.
Yeah, but that's different. It's not generic.
Yeah.
Jeez, I gotta watch a Bray Wyatt match.
Okay.
But nobody hates Bray Wyatt though. It's not nitpicking.
But nobody knows why.
Because he's entertaining. Reigns is not entertaining either.
He is, but he's not. He's entertaining for more so what his personality is and who he is on the mic, and everybody's so caught up in that, which I think is hilarious because people are so incensed with Roman Reigns being a terrible wrestler.
Okay, body avalanche.
And they will boo him. And they're so predetermined to boo Roman Reigns because he supposedly got shoved down your throats. And even though, again, still, he hasn't sniffed a title shot since WrestleMania and has been booked in weird storylines. So, dare I say, borderline buried.
I think he's booked the way he should be booked.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
But my point is he hasn't sniffed that main event since then. So people are so incensed to boo him and say he's a terrible wrestler, and what we want is great wrestling. And all you gave me were 3 Bray Wyatt moves. I mean, one of which you Googled. And on top of that, everybody loves Bray Wyatt because, and I don't disagree that they should, people should love him for this. He puts on fantastic promos. People are obsessed with the Bray Wyatt song, and they're waving those flashlights not because Bray Wyatt puts on a great wrestling match, because he's an unbelievable character and personality. So don't sit here as some internet fan or somebody hijacking a a match on television when you're fans. Don't sit here and do that and tell me, well, it's because it's crappy wrestling and that's what I want to watch, and then say, why do you love Bray Wyatt? Because his character is amazing. So you're full of shit, son. Not you, but
No,
these
but
people.
the thing is,
because
though,
you can't be like,
Bray-
I love this guy because of his character and his promos, but maybe his wrestling's just okay, and then hate somebody and not pay attention to their match, and they might be putting on a good match. And maybe Roman Reigns is a bad example.
But Bray was not
But he's the
forced
biggest
down
one.
our throats for months and months like Roman Reigns was. It was too predictable because we knew Reigns was going to be spoon-fed everything, and that we were going to be force-fed. He's going to win every match. He's going to win the Rumble. We knew that. It was too much, too soon, too quick. Bray came out perfectly. He's a great character, and you're asking me about moves, and I can tell you, like, you know, moves that if I watch a match, the thing is, though, nobody questions his moveset. You question Reigns because we know it's only 3 or 4.
But he's a power guy.
I get that, but it was too much too soon. That's why the crowd shit on him. That's why they continue to shit on him, because they want to make sure that they don't give the creative writers any excuse saying, wow, Reigns is getting a nice pop when he comes out now. Let's push him back again. Maybe they gotten over it. They're making sure that doesn't happen ever again.
I have no problem with the way that Reigns sells other people.
I think he
does a good job of that.
If him and Ambrose want to be a tag team, even Ambrose,
which, by the way, I would totally sign up for that tag team.
I would not mind them being a tag team.
As I was watching them this last night and this weekend, I just thought, I'm like, man, part of why I really miss the Shield is because what a fantastic just combination tag team of either of those three guys.
But I'm saying it would alleviate the tag team division. I miss when like Stone Cold and Triple H would be tag team partners.
Yeah.
Or even Taker and Kane.
What about Stone Cold and the Undertaker? Leading into SummerSlam.
Yeah. Or Mick Foley and Stone Cold were tag team champions that had to fight each other.
Yeah.
And then Dudley Boys come back, add some veteran leadership to the tag team division. But I wouldn't mind Reigns. I wouldn't mind Reigns and Ambrose being tag team champions, him holding a belt. It's just this happens the Divas revolution whenever it's going on. It's happening too quick. It's being forced down our throats, whether we like it or not, and it's too predictable to where it's entertaining.
I'm going to disagree. The Divas revolution that should be getting shoved down our throats is not.
It is getting shoved down our throats.
No. The revolution of what we just talked about, your 4 horsewomen and NXT and the style of matches that we're watching there.
Because it's organic.
That's what should be getting shoved down your throat, though, if anything, is quality matches. And we're not getting that. What's getting shoved down our throats is the same thing. We're getting sold it and told that it's different, but it's not.
The one problem with Divas Revolution, and let's go into this, hardcore, is it's led by Stephanie, but she has no right to even be out there and saying, "Oh, this is like Ronda Rousey and Serena Williams and the 2, Rangers, that women Rangers."
You know why she's out there? It goes back to her AJ Lee's tweet.
Yeah, and we don't need Stephanie out there. I don't care. Like this is not her baby. No. If anything, this is Triple H.
Triple H's, and the girls will tell you that.
Yeah, it's all Triple H. But I agree, Triple H should.
Every picture they post coming back from a match from NXT
H.
or anything, it's them with Triple H.
Yeah. So it's being force-fed. You have so many women out there. You have 9 ladies out there. Now you have the Bella Twins who can't wrestle.
Quality does not make quantity.
They are not good. And the thing about NXT is that they are having non-storylines. They have build-up. They don't have long, stupid storylines, diva stuff, and they have a great match. Because these girls can wrestle. Becky Lynch can wrestle. Charlotte can wrestle. Sasha can wrestle. Bayley can wrestle. Other girls, they can actually wrestle. Yeah. You mix them in with girls that cannot wrestle, the matches are plain shit. And it brings down Charlotte. It brings down Becky. It brings down Sasha. It brings down, everybody that's involved, because it brings down Paige, because the matches are totally shit, because the Bellas can't take a chop. They can't do a move. They can't do what Sasha versus Charlotte can do. It's you mix in girls who can't wrestle, the whole thing goes to shit, and it's being forced as if some revolution, but in reality, no one's caring. It's being shit on when they should just wipe it out, keep the NXT girls up, And let's have the NXT have matches. It would be so much better instead of this fucking tag team shit. Let's have some one-on-one wrestling with actual wrestling
There's too much
girls.
This 3-on-3 and tag team stuff.
It's dumb.
And that's what draws out the match too much. It needs Natty Neidhart back as one for one.
I don't miss her. No, I don't miss her.
As a wrestler, she's an added person to put into this.
No, it doesn't.
You can't put her.
It's not going to solve anything. It's going to make it worse because there's going to be more cooks in the kitchen.
No, it's
too many cooks. Many.
I'm not saying bring Natty and bring her up in a stable. I'm saying bring Natty back because now all of a sudden you can't have 3-on-3-on-3. You have this individual, and now that's going to start breaking everything up because somebody's got to feud one-on-one with her.
I think you got to bring Bailey up and then have the 4 horsewomen.
I mean, I agree. We bring Bailey up, but I think the more quality women that you add to this in terms of wrestling, the better it becomes. And this is the one area where I'm okay when people get upset and they're booing because those matches have been garbage. We've given these the Bellas and everybody and Alicia Fox an opportunity, and we've watched, and we're still bored with it. We need a better match, and when that's what you're given, forget it. I couldn't believe in SummerSlam that you just brought Sasha Banks up, and maybe some of this was because she had just the incredible long match that she had the night before. Maybe some of it was to give her that rest. I don't know. But how do you get rid of her so quickly in SummerSlam? And then leave us everything. This whole Divas Revolution has been built upon women that supposedly your mainstream audience hasn't seen before and things they haven't seen before. And you get rid of the one other person out of those 6 that nobody's seen before. You just let her go. Quickly, she's gone. Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's a matter of these, Sasha, Charlotte, Bailey, Paige, Becky, they all train together at NXT. Mm. They have all had amazing matches because they know each other. Then you mix in with non-talent like the Bellas, and they're forcing them to have decent matches right off the bat. It's not going to happen. They have to let it. They can't shove it down our throats. Just let it happen organically, like NXT did.
Yeah.
Just let it happen. It will happen. You just let it be. Don't try to shove it down our throats as some revolution because it's not a revolution. It's a slap in the face of what NXT made. NXT made the Divas Revolution.
It's a slap in the face of what
making it terrible.
The 3 girls that they brought up made.
Yeah, because you don't care. I don't care anymore.
It's. I'm trying to think. How do I word this, or what do I say? It's like the real revolution is that for the first time ever, you have more than one female or 2 females who grew up wanting to be a wrestler. You look back and you think about Alita, and it was something that she wanted to do. She was going to be. Natty Neidhart, it's what she wanted to be, and for a long time it was just her carrying it. It wasn't a bunch of fitness models or ex-cheerleaders who were really athletic and could pull this stuff off.
Yeah.
It's a group of women who grew up as you and I did as males and said, oh, I would love to be a professional wrestler when I grew up. They grew up, oh, I want to be a professional wrestler when I grew up. And that passion is there. You're not trying to make them something they at first never thought that they would ever be. If they didn't think they'd ever be it, it's because they knew that it was a hill to climb. But it was something they always wanted to be. And that's where the revolution lies. And that's the problem you're running into still. But the question will be, because there are still girls in NXT that were these fitness models and everything. But I think they were around enough women that they start to appreciate it and gain the passion for it. Nikki, I don't know if Nikki has a passion for professional wrestling and appreciation for it. I think being around John Cena, she's got an appreciation for lifting weights, but maybe not the wrestling aspect.
Yeah. And you can't. They've been on the main roster for so long that if they haven't got how to wrestle a decent match by now, it's not going to happen. But the Paige and the other girls cannot carry them. It's not going to happen because it's only going to bring them down, and it's going to be a shitty match. And I understand Paige is upset, and Charlotte's upset, and Becky's upset, and the girls that came up are upset. Sasha's upset because of the crowd pissing on it. Well, they should piss on it because it's been terrible. Wipe out Alicia Fox. Sorry, Tamina. Sorry, Naomi. Sorry, Bellas. Stick with your Total Divas.
I think Tamina's never really gotten better because of so many injuries and setbacks.
Well, I think she's a decent wrestler. Just nobody cares about her. She was just part of this revolution because she's in the back in catering.
Yeah, I mean, she's kind of here, and then she's gone for a long time, and then she's here, and then she's gone for a long time.
They had nothing.
This is the longest we've seen her for a while.
She's a Zack Ryder of the women's division.
Yeah.
That's basically what she is.
But I love Zack Ryder.
I love Zack Ryder too, but Zack Ryder is just doing nothing. He's an NXT.
The Hyper Brothers is going to be awesome.
terrible.
Hyper Bros, I'm sorry.
I'm not a fan of Mojo. I feel sorry for Zack.
Hyper Bros.
Whatever he has to do to get on the main roster, totally cool, but not a fan. But yeah, I mean, it has to be booked differently. Creative has to do something else. And the story came out this week, and we'll get into this too, that the original plan for this Divas Revolution, which I think should have happened, was Charlotte was supposed to take the title away from Nikki. Now they want Nikki to have it because they want to surpass AJ Lee, which is just so petty. It's just
super
ridiculous.
petty.
You got 3 more weeks.
If you're going to pass AJ,
and
you should pass it with one of the other girls.
Yeah, and she's not even defending her title anymore, really. So the original plan was Charlotte was going to win the title when she got up. John Cena goes to Vince and says, maybe you shouldn't do that. And obviously we all know Cena's banging Nikki Bella. It's, obviously
right.
Everybody knows that. So that was next. And that upsets me because I would love to see Charlotte as a title holder defending this against Becky, against Sasha, against Bayley, against Paige. I would love to see those matches than this, 9-woman shit they have going on with Nikki not defending the title at all anyway.
If you're gonna have somebody,
keep your nose out of their business.
If you're gonna have somebody be the longest reigning Divas or Women's Champion, why wouldn't you have it be the 16-time World Champion's daughter?
Yeah.
What an amazing the storyline's right there for you. It's written right there. We're now celebrating a champion's, daughter, in much the same way you talk about the bloodlines of guys like The Rock and a Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Here's Charlotte. That's it. That's what you've been waiting for. Is that kind of moment. Let her take the reins. Let her be the longest reigning champion and add prestige. And you could talk about the story of, she's a Flair, so this makes the championship even more prestigious. And much like her father is, has the most championship reigns in history, she is now the longest reigning WWE Divas champion. It's right there for you. If I was Ric Flair, I would be pissed because of what you've given to wrestling. The fact that John Cena can roll in and be like, well, that's my girl. You should. What happened to hustle, loyalty, and respect, John?
I loved when they had, the girls on Miz TV.
Yeah.
And the crowd was it was a terrible segment. It was awful. They tried to do the cute finish the sentence crap and then Miz, puts his hand up and says, when I put my hand up, you guys stop talking. And the crowd cheered because they knew this was a terrible segment. And then Miz tried to keep heel by saying, that goes for you too, trying to, keep heel because people were cheering for Miz telling them to shut up.
Yeah.
But the one thing that upset me, and it's tedious, but it's a true fact, and I think, people from, WCW that love WCW would say this like I did, was when Charlotte said the 4 Horsemen were one of the great stables of WWE history, which is totally wrong. The 4 Horsemen were never in WWE. It was WCW, and that is ridiculous because that's just scripted, and they're not going to say put over WCW at all, which is bullshit.
Yeah.
So they're going to have WWE. They never competed in WWE.
Switched over and became WWE after WWF.
But recognize WCW history.
Right.
There's plenty of history to recognize.
After WWF.
You do it with Sting. You do it with Sting.
I get it. You consider, I guess, all of it all-encompassing and being WWE. She shouldn't have said WWE, and if you're not going to straight up say WCW, you should at least say... And if there wouldn't be anything wrong with saying, as a fact... wrestling history.
No, you can't say that, Steve. Sports entertainment only.
That's fine.
Don't say wrestling.
I don't care.
Anymore.
If you want to say sports entertainment history, you can go with that. You can go either route, and it would be a true fact because they were.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't just be limited to WWE, WCW. That can be all-encompassing as far as I care, because it is WWF, WCW, ECW. It's NWA.
But really,
one of the best out
gonna...
of factions from TNA. One of the best from Ring of Honor. It doesn't matter. They are one of the best stables and factions that you've ever had, period, in sports entertainment.
She should have said WCW, or at least say they are WWE Hall of Famers. They could have said that. But don't piss on WCW script, writers, because they want to put over WCW too much. It's just ridiculous. So we had the Dudley Boys come back as well.
By the way, I don't like Paige on the mic.
Yeah, Paige is not good. She's more good to look at than anything.
Stop telling me this is your house.
Are we off the Divas Revolution for now? Because I feel like this is going to be a weekly rant for us.
Sorry.
You're so upset.
I'm
upset too.
It's not her house.
No, it's not her house.
She's in English. It's not the House of Parliament.
Paige can do whatever she wants, though. She can pretty much do anything she wants.
No.
Yeah, her and Alexa Bliss can do whatever they want.
I like that, Alexa Bliss.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's great. All right, Dudley Boys. They are back. Multi-year contracts, full-time, doing house shows. This was not a one-time deal. They are back. At WrestleMania weekend, we had a chance to, not hang out, but kind of rub shoulders.
Testify.
Yeah, a little rub shoulders with Devon and Bully Ray, because the WrestleCon was at our hotel.
He's Bubba Ray again.
Yeah, Bubba Ray. I always say Bully. He was Bully back
in TNA.
WrestleCon, yeah.
Yeah.
But I said testify to Devon, got a photo with him. I'm like, now he's back in WWE. Looks in great shape for being an older guy. Both of them are in great shape.
They both are in fantastic shape. Yeah.
Jack, dude. New Day, ever since that photo I took with New Day, dude, come on, you cannot.
New Day's been hot.
They've been hot. Come on.
I mean, I love New Day. I'll say New Day rocks.
Yeah, I'll wear New Day socks.
I love the fact that Xavier Woods is playing taps on the trombone.
It's amazing.
And then New York.
And then you had the Dudleys come out, and the tag team division. All right, that's good. Who cares about Los Matadores? I do not care.
Nobody, really.
I don't care about Lucha.
Don't you say it.
Kalisto is great. Sin Cara botches every single time he goes out there.
The Lucha Dragons make for fun matches.
They are good.
And you need to have that in the tag team division.
But they deserve to be in. Keep them a main event or superstars.
They don't necessarily need to be champs, but you need them.
Yeah, they botch a lot. And then you have...
You get that when you take risks, Glenn.
Then the primetime players.
PTP.
Which I don't mind. They're cool,
Yeah.
Titus O'Neil is...
You'll never know if Titus is botching anything because he just literally throws you across the ring.
That's not... Yeah. But he's good. And then Darren Young is a great wrestler, so it's great. That's great. Then you have New Day.
He's a nice guy, too.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy.
According to Xavier Woods.
But then you have New Day, which has been tearing it up all on the mic, backstage interviews. Xavier Woods is great as a manager. And then they all are great wrestlers, which we've known for years. But then you bring on a new competition. You have the Dudley Boys come back. Secret, no whispers on the internet, the dirt sheets about this. We kind of knew Bully Ray was coming back because he left TNA, but you didn't know when.
We saw him at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. But he was on TNA literally last month or 2 months ago. He went back there for a couple nights, didn't like it, left. And then now he's back with WWE. Devon in great shape. I mean, this is just going to bring the tag team division. New Day has brought some attention back to the tag team division, but now with the Dudley's boys back, it kind of brings that main event feel to the tag team division.
I love a strong tag team division with like real teams in it. Yeah. Going back to the days of the Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, I can't think who, I mean, the Bumblebees at one point.
No, come on.
Well, they were there. The Road Warriors, Demolition, the Rockers, the teams. I mean, they're teams. You expected to see them all the time, not two guys thrown together and, hey, how long is this going to last? And then they're going to break up.
Yeah. It's New Day, they were not feeling it at first. Like, they stuck with New Day. And usually WWE, it's like, okay, it didn't work. Time to break you guys up. They stuck with it. They made them heel. They made them bad guys slowly, and they're great wrestlers. And Xavier Woods just on the mic is just great. But Xavier Woods posted this on Facebook last night, and it sums up him marking out. He says, "If you're not a wrestler, then this may be hard to understand. Tonight, I took a 3D from the Dudley Boys through a table in front of a sold-out crowd in Brooklyn at the Barclays Center after I played trombone during our entrance, and my boys sang our remake of Sinatra's New York, New York. This is honestly one of the best moments of my life."
And he has a PhD.
Yeah. And he has his own video game channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's great.
It's first of all, if I'm the announce table and I'm watching a New Day match, I just let Xavier Woods talk over everything, and just let the camera follow him, and let the mics pick him up, because it's great. It's hysterical. He was a highlight of SummerSlam during that fatal. I mean, that fatal 4-way match was a lot of fun to watch, but part of it was having Xavier Woods there. I mean, how many Xavier Woods quotes went out across Twitter that night?
Oh, yeah. It was great.
It was
was
fantastic.
Okay, there was one I tweeted from our show.
Yeah.
Which is?
TIA Wrestling. Follow us there on Twitter, folks.
It was... let's see here. I'm trying to find it on our Twitter, which is TIA Wrestling on Twitter. It was about bacon and eggs. We eat bacon, eggs, and toast because we need a good breakfast every day. Like, he's just yelling that ringside for no reason.
How about he tells the photographers, "Take a picture, take a picture now. This is gonna be in."
He says, "You hate to see this kind of thing happen to a nice guy like Darren Young."
As he gets slammed.
And I mean, he is, the New Day is everything that we like about pro wrestling.
How about their Empire State of Mind that they sang before SummerSlam?
Yeah, that was good too.
New Day.
Yeah. Anything they do.
Negativity won't affect us.
It's and they do those interviews for WWE.com backstage. If you don't watch them on YouTube, they're like short-minute interviews, and like they are just. Those are even funny. They're dunking on people.
Oh, and I love the fact that they were wearing all white with the gold. Seth Rollins comes out wearing all white with the gold. And what they do is they take a picture together at the end.
Yeah.
Favorite picture of the night was all of them together.
It was great. New Day is gold. Anything they do with New Day, they're just totally hitting out of the ballpark. And now you have the Dudleys coming in, legitimate, a great program. They're back full time. Just. I'm looking forward to it. And hey, if Reigns and Ambrose move on to tag team division,
let's put the Y family in a tag team division as well.
I mean, do it all for the titles
with their new member.
Have a 4-way with Dudleys, with New Day, with Reigns and Ambrose, and then Wyatt. That would be great. I would love to see that.
Fantastic.
Sorry, Lucha.
Tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my.
Oh yeah, got some tables now.
Absolutely.
We're getting some wood on Monday nights now.
Just leave out the stairs.
What do you mean the stairs?
Tables, ladders, chairs.
The stairs. Those stairs are 3,000 pounds,
Stop
Michael.
It. Oh my God!
Yeah, they're 3,000. Big Show lifting those 3,000 pound stairs over his head.
Oh, favorite move from Monday Night Raw, folks. Cesaro and Ryback teaming together to gorilla press the Big Show and then dropping him into an RKO.
That was a cool spot.
Announce team, quit calling it an RKO out of nowhere when you know it's coming.
They love that.
When it's his finishing move and he's setting him up for the finish move, it's not out of nowhere.
I don't like how when Orton throws him off the ropes and he's going to do his body slam, the quick one he does, and he does the motion he was going to do it.
Oh,
but the guy held onto the ropes. That looks so dumb because Orton is not going to start it without the guy there. So what's with the fake?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's tedious, but it's still whatever.
I don't know. I was going to say something else. I don't remember what it was.
So we got to talk about Lesnar and Taker too.
Yes. Controversial ending.
Don't get it.
That's SummerSlam.
If you need to do that, continue the storyline.
Don't you dare draw the storyline all the way out to WrestleMania.
Yeah, you have to. I think it is now. What are they going to wrestle at Night of Champions?
That's not exactly a thing that you just are like, oh, well, I'll just wait till WrestleMania to be angry about that again.
Well, why then?
Are you gonna? Brock Lesnar is the most believable champion that you have.
But
are you not gonna give him a title shot between now and WrestleMania? That's 6 months.
Why give him Lesnar get the title? Lesnar get the title and have Taker versus Lesnar, and then Taker loses.
Because after being that screwed over, why would the character of Brock Lesnar not be still pissed off at the Undertaker and want vengeance on the Undertaker immediately?
Well,
a Brock Lesnar is not going to be like, oh, that Undertaker, oh, shake my fist, I'm really angry at him. Maybe you'll wait till WrestleMania 7 months from now. No.
Well,
I don't buy that.
They're gonna have to wait. I mean, that's gonna be the blow
Well,
off.
I guess I'll wait till the Undertaker can heal up because he's 50 years old. Stop it.
Dude, it's wrestling, dude.
He would destroy him. You don't go from shouting.
Wrestling.
You don't go from shouting, I'm gonna murder you, I'm gonna kill you, to being like, I'll wait 6 months for it.
Well, I think they're gonna do is Lesnar's gonna get upset. He'll do something, get suspended again. He'll be off TV for a few months.
Can't keep doing that again.
Well, he's not.
But then again, it's the WWE.
He's not a full-time wrestler. He's not full-time.
He's.
They have so amount of dates.
Do you know that he'll be wrestling October 3rd?
Yeah, in New York. Yeah.
In Madison Square Garden.
And you got to have Howard Finkel announcing to come out. You got in New York, Madison Square Garden. You got to have him announce. You're gonna.
You need. You could carry it out until WrestleMania, if you're revisiting it.
Yeah.
Undertaker pops up here or there, whatever the case may be. You can't just ignore it, though, all the way until WrestleMania season. That's my point. That makes no sense, because now the Undertaker got his win. So what's the incentive for the Undertaker to come back to this?
That's why we got.
He's not going to come back to WrestleMania and be like, oh, I need to avenge my win that I got over you.
They'll draw it out because there's no pay-per-views that is worthy of a Taker Lesnar match.
Well,
Night of Champions, no. Lesnar's gonna do something. They're gonna get suspended, or he's gonna get legit hurt. Like not legit, but
much the way. Here's the problem with WWE right now. Here's a problem with WWE. Much in the same way that John Cena says, it's not the title that makes the man; it's the man that makes the title. It shouldn't be the pay-per-view that makes the match. It should be the match that makes the pay-per-view. True,
but pay-per-views are not highly touted anymore.
But they should be. If that's gonna be your special, and that's what you want people to go to, it should be and that's what you're building up for. That's why you're giving me garbage week in and week out on Monday Night Raws, because you want me to tune in this pay-per-view, and you want me to hold on to WWE Network for that pay-per-view. Then you need to have an amazing match on there and not crap. You need to have it in such the same way that millions of more little Ethan Pages running around the world will grow up to be on some wrestling podcast that people listen to and say, I want my pay-per-view to be me at rock bottom. Or, Night of Champions was a huge pay-per-view, WCW. Need to have it.
No, it wasn't WCW.
ECW. No,
it wasn't.
No, this was.
No, Night of Champions came from WCW, but
yeah.
It wasn't a pay-per-view. It was the final show of Nitro ever, and they made it Night of Champions, and WB stole that to make their own. Yeah,
that's right.
So
doesn't matter. Point is, they need to. First of all, Night of Champions should be a huge pay-per-view. You call it the Night of Champions.
But
I get every title's online, but you should
I don't
have
want
some
to see
incredible
Taker
matches for that. No, I'm not saying that you should see it necessarily there, but again, you've already been programmed to be like, oh, this pay-per-view sucks. I don't want to see it then. I want to see it at WrestleMania. I want to see it here. And I'm not saying you shouldn't see it at WrestleMania, but you shouldn't have to wait either all the way until WrestleMania to see it again.
Taker, dude, he's old, man.
I don't care if you give me a 5 to 10 minute match at another pay-per-view that's just an all-out brawl and the bell never rings and they need to pull these two apart and the match isn't going to happen, and that draws it out. Because we've seen something like that happen before with like Dean Ambrose.
I'd rather save it for Mania. Hell in the Cell. If it's Hell in the Cell, Mania. Save that for that's a Mania match, dude. I don't want to see a regular one-on-one match again. But
that's what I'm saying.
Other pay-per-view doesn't matter.
There's ways to draw it out, but you can put them in the pay-per-view and gain our interest.
Something will happen to one of those.
You can fake me out and make me think that there's a match and just let them. I don't mean let them brawl like in the match. Let them brawl before the bell rings, and then you'd be like, "This match is not even started. This match is not going to happen because these two."
Maybe Lesnar puts him in the Kimura lock, and kayfabe breaks Taker's arm, and then he's out for till Mania.
Okay, I'll accept that, but I need a response.
Well, I'm sure something's gonna happen. They're not gonna have a full blown match though. You're gonna have some interaction. I'm just interested in seeing a regular one-on-one matchup without kind of a Hell in a Cell kind of feel to it. But then again, Taker can't do a Hell in a Cell as well as he used to. Like,
no, he's not. It's not gonna.
I've
really
never
see Taker
been
at
a
Hell in a
huge
Cell.
Taker fan ever. I mean, it was
Nor
cool,
have I.
but like,
That's why I want an end to this. I want Brock Lesnar to go dominate.
dude, I hope American Badass comes back. I hope he does it one more time.
I want no part in that.
The thing, Taker loves that gimmick more than the Dead Man gimmick. He loves that American Badass gimmick. He loved it.
Because it's him.
When he was dressed as a UFO believer with the trench coat and the glasses and the beanie, like he loved that gimmick. So if he's just going to heel with the low, what's up with the low blows too? What's up with that, dude? So you're saying a 50-year-old man that can't beat him legitimately anymore has to rely on a timekeeper and a low blow to win?
Well, Ric Flair would do it.
But
he's the dirtiest
Ric
player in the
Flair.
game.
That's Ric Flair. That's not Taker. So is there something with that? Like, we haven't even addressed that at all. Like, it's a lot of question marks.
Well, they say in the montages, and Stone Cold's like, "Oh, Undertaker goes to the low blow. He's evil, or he's desperate, and needs to win." I don't know. It's not necessarily quality. I did enjoy the match overall, though.
Yeah. It was
just
good.
not that weird finish.
No. So obviously there's something's going to happen, I think, before Mania, but the blow off for this, or Lesnar, Rock. I mean, Rock still can be involved. Rock, Triple H. I mean,
sure,
a lot of things can happen. I wouldn't mind to see Lesnar and Undertaker. I'm worth the wait because I'd rather see Lesnar go against other people than keep facing Taker or continue a program with Taker. I'd rather see a blow off.
Well, so, I mean, I don't want to see him keep doing it, but
yeah.
I also don't want it to be randomly back up at a WrestleMania again.
Yeah, but I wouldn't mind it. But
here's a question for you: coming out of the weekend, will they retire the U.S. title? What does this mean now that Seth Rollins has both?
Is he going to do double duty at Night of Champions?
I don't know.
I mean, who would be?
Maybe he only loses one? Do you just keep uniting all the titles until there is only one?
I mean,
because nobody seems to care about them anyway?
Guess.
I don't know. It's odd to me because you spent all this time doing the U.S. Open Challenge with John Cena to bring prestige back to the U.S. title, and now you give it to a guy that has two, which means he's not likely to defend it. And so now it just sits there again.
Yeah. I don't mind him having both titles, but I'd rather see other guys feud on their own without a title. And who knows? Maybe Cena will get a rematch. Maybe they'll do that. Maybe he'll do a U.S. title rematch and not a World Heavyweight title. I mean, he's obviously facing Sting at the next pay-per-view. And what about that? We haven't gotten into that. We're an hour into our show. We haven't even talked about Sting coming back. So let's end it on that. Sting versus Rollins. Is Sting part of, what is going on?
What did Sting do to get this title shot?
I don't think it is a title shot. Is it officially a title shot? Or is this Sting versus Rollins?
Yeah,
I don't
so.
I don't know. I don't think it's for the title. Night of Champions, 2015. I didn't hear it was for the title. I heard Triple H said that you want a match with him, like he'll get it. Oh, it is. Okay, it is for the World Heavyweight. Okay. Like what has Sting done? He lost to Triple H.
He lost his only match in WWE.
Okay, this is what I'm thinking, that Triple H has something to do with this. Triple H has something to do with all this, Sting stuff. If you're Triple H, if you're giving a statue to Seth Rollins, like, where's the statue? Is there actual a statue? Like,
no, there's no statue.
I know, but I'm saying, like, I'm talking logic wrestling talk here, but right. I'm saying, like, maybe Triple H is involved somehow, some way, and this leads to Rollins versus Triple H down the road that we talked about. That could have been at SummerSlam, but it's why Sting?
Because he won his number one. Oh no! Again, he never won a match. He didn't win a single match in WWE.
He was against the Authority, so I get that. But why didn't Triple H help Rollins out? Triple H left the ring for Rollins to take the fall.
Because Night of Champions, Sting is, I don't know.
Sting's not going to win. I hope not.
Relevant WCW champion. Sting becomes your U.S. champion.
They don't care about WCW though. They shit on the WCW any chance they get.
I mean, I don't know. None of it makes sense.
I don't get it.
Also, I'd like to see, good, quick cameo by Seth Rollins' girlfriend at NXT this past weekend.
Yeah.
The one he wasn't engaged to.
No, wasn't engaged to.
The one who used to have a WWE contract.
She actually, when Chris and I went to NXT Miami, she actually did the ring announcing with Dasha, I think. So she switched.
Oh,
She looks very awkward coming out like dressed skimpy with tattoos as a ring announcer. Yeah, she looks like she needs to be Rollins' manager or valet or whatever. But man, she's good looking though.
She is. She's attractive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying she's not.
No, I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying she looks very awkward as a ring announcer.
Yeah.
Kind of breaks the mold.
Well, that's okay.
Anything else?
I mean, I just don't get this Sting. I'm not against Sting being around.
We'll see how it
But by the way, Sting was moving way better last night.
He did 2 spots, dude.
Yeah, I know, but I just remember how watching him do 2 spots and he seemed gassed at WrestleMania.
He was sweating just standing in there. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, he was under that cloak, yeah.
That was funny.
I'm sure it was hot.
His paint is just peeling off, yeah.
But he looked
Dude,
he looked in better shape. Just looking at him though. Like when you watch him at WrestleMania, you could tell he looked out of shape. He looked like he slimmed down.
Dude,
he
had 2 spots. Let's get.
He slimmed down.
Slow down a little bit.
He moved a little bit
he did
better.
a stinger splash.
He's moved a little bit better. He looked in better shape. I still don't think he should be the champion, but
no.
I think it'll be a better match than what we saw.
It was kind of surreal seeing him hold the WWE, championship over his head.
It was
kind
interesting.
of it was kind of cool to see that. But other than that, I'm not interested in it. I know Night of Champions is, a B pay-per-view, so to speak. But, hey, we'll see how this culminates in the next few weeks. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Anything else WWE wise?
No,
I don't think there is anything else we could talk about. We've been an hour, no breaks. This is a
no
special
interview.
show, no interviews. We need one of these once in a while to vent.
Don't be a stupid Mark.
Yeah. AIW has a great show coming up in September. Faith No More. September 11th. AIWrestling.com. They have Hardcore Holly. Bob Holly going to be in here. If you're a wrestler or you want to be a wrestler, they're having a seminar on the 10th, the night before, and you can check out AIWrestling.com for that. Candice LeRae is going to be a wrestling versus Athena, who is the AIW Women's Champion, and some other announcements will coming up. But Hardcore Holly is actually wrestling Nick Gage.
Oh, that's going to be intense.
Going to be truly hardcore.
Not like camping. I mean, INTENSE.
Yeah.
Get it?
No. I totally missed what you said.
I said it's going to be intense.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Use that for your stand-up?
No.
You should. Get a good reaction.
It's for a friend of the show. If you happen to live in the Miami area, it's a Wi-Fi connection too, just so you know.
Oh. Okay. So AIW, check them out, AIWrestling.com for their shows. Support Cleveland local wrestling, or support local wrestling in your area anyway.
Wherever you are.
Yeah, wherever you are. Support it.
Unless
all right.
It sucks.
Good recap of WCW weekend, buddy.
Yeah.
Nitro was great.
I missed the Nitro
Starrcade
Girls.
was great. Yeah, no, Nitro Girls were great. Whisper was my favorite.
The Starrcade.
Starrcade, brother. Daddy.
Listen here, Daddy.
That was great. Love Starrcade. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week.
Oh, my God.
Joey Styles.
No, Michael Cole just keeps saying, oh, my God, anymore.
Cole is too much. All right, we'll talk to you guys next week. We'll be back, get some guests for you. AIW next month. Looking forward to that. 2 shows AIW next in October. You have Fresh Meat, then Girls Night Out again, in one night I think it is. So a lot of great matches, and hopefully Frankie Flynn gets his.
Yeah, his win.
Did he win this weekend?
I'm not sure. I missed it.
Me too. I totally forgot about that. Sorry, EC3, for not coming out. He sent me a bad, angry text.
He should.
Sunday.
We deserved it.
We did, yeah. So, sorry, EC3.
Sorry, Ethan Carter, the 3-time guest on our show.
Yeah, only 3-time guest.
Only.
All right, we'll talk to you guys next week. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Follow us on Twitter at TIA Wrestling, Instagram TIA Wrestling. Website coming soon. One-stop shop for everything. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. Yeah. Might have some T-shirts coming your way.
Yeah, we talked about a lot today. Certainly tweet at us. Get back to us. Let us know your thoughts. We always like to hear it. We'll retweet it.
Got
maybe.
A little bump in followers.
We might reply to you a little bit. But there was a lot we said. Feel free to argue with us.
Yeah.
And don't forget, when you do tweet at us, hashtag everything, get John Thorne famous.
Yes. We'll talk to you guys next week. This is Awesome Wrestling Show. This is AwesomeWrestlingShow.com. Coming soon.
Don't forget one more thing.
What?
We had the big announcement.
Yeah. It's true. Why don't you do it? I'll let you do this.
All right, guys. Here's what it is. The biggest announcement that we have ever made on this show. We will be having.
Oh.
I don't know how to put it into words.
Just say it. You've been teasing him enough to say it.
I only think about a better way to phrase it.